Hi, it's Margaret DeVigo, Pensieri Dolci. Guess what we're making today? Roasted butternut squash soup. Just look at it. It's velvety, it's smooth, it's hot. I sprinkled a little bit of roasted sliced almonds, and I can't wait to have it because I'm looking out the window right now and it's snowing a little and it's cold. So this is going to warm me right up, and I know it'll warm you up too. My YouTube channel is doing great. A lot of views. I'm so happy. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your time and viewing my videos. It means a lot to me. My subscribers, they're slowly increasing. So hit that subscribe button and comment below, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions or just to chat. That's great. I'm looking out the window. I don't know where you are, but I'm looking out my window and I see little snowflakes falling down. It's cold outside. And what better day to have a roasted butternut squash soup? And that's what I'm going to be making today. But first, I want to talk about kindness. As we know, International Pink T-Shirt Day was last week, and all staff and students were encouraged to wear a pink shirt. So my pink shirt was this one here, and it was Choose Kindness. Now, we should be kind every day, I know that, but sometimes we need a reminder, and that day is a great reminder. If those of you that don't know the history of the pink T-shirt today, it all started with a boy, 12 years old, who decided to wear a pink T-shirt to school, and he was made fun of. And so two of his friends decided, well, that's not right, and they went and got 50 pink T-shirts. They handed it out to their friends, and they were all together with that one student that wore his pink T-shirt. And kindness, there's so many things that you can do. Every day you can stop to lend a hand for someone. Spread some beauty. Buy some flowers, hand the flowers over to someone. Do double dinner. When you're making dinner, think of a neighbor or a friend and just double up on your dinner and give half of it to your friend or your neighbor. Send kind greetings. A handwritten note is so rare these days, but receiving one is such a joy. And knowing that someone actually took the time to write something for you, that's very special. Let a stranger go in front of you in line. So easy that we can do at the grocery store. Send a kind note to someone. Clean up, or rake leaves for somebody, or clean their sidewalk of snow. Pay it forward. Buy a coffee for someone. I know we've done this before. We're in the Tim Hortons lineup, and I'll pull up and I'll say, I'd like to pay for the person behind me, and another act of kindness. Be kind to your siblings, to your family members or friends. Sometimes we hurt the ones that we love, so we need to remember to just try to be kind. And go shopping for someone if you have an elderly neighbor and they need something and you're going out, ask them if they need something and pick it up for them. They'd be so grateful. So let's remember to choose kind, and even a smile. A smile is an act of kindness as well. Roasted butternut squash soup. I'm going to show you how easy it is to make it. Here you go, your butternut squash. Don't be intimidated by this, by cutting it. I just learned on my own recently how easy it is to cut, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, you're going to get a nice sharp knife, and you're going to cut the ends off. One, two. Okay, set it up. There you go. Look at this. Look at the color. I'm just amazed by the color. It has to be good for you. Okay, so you've got your butternut squash split in half, and you're going to scoop out the seeds. All you need is a spoon We're going to scoop out the seeds. Okay. And we'll do the other half. And I'm going to tell you how you can use these seeds. Don't throw them out. Yes, you're going to have to get your hands dirty. Okay, there we go. Seeds are out. Now you can cut these pieces, I would say, into half, like that. And it's time for them to be roasted. You're going to get some aluminum foil, and you're going to wrap each piece like that. Oh, seed. And one more. Okay, put this aside, we don't need that. And you're going to line a baking sheet with some foil, and you're going to put your foil wrapped pieces of butternut squash onto the tray, and it goes in the oven at 400 for about 45 minutes. And you could check it along the way, just pierce it to see if it's tender. And once it's been roasted and you scoop out that nice pulp, this is what you get. Okay, it's soft and it's still beautiful in color, and that's the color that your soup is going to be. Now let's get back to the seeds. I don't want to forget that. So what you do is you're going to separate the seeds from the leftover pulp, and you're going to put them in a tray. Now I have a little toaster oven that I use, which is really practical for me, and we're going to roast these. And it's very simple. And these take, I would put it at 350, and they keep an eye on them because they're small, they'll burn quickly. So every minute or so, just go in there with a spoon and shake them up a bit. Here's my tray. We're going to put these seeds onto the tray. Like that. And we are going to add some olive oil. Okay. And then we're going to season them with some pepper and salt. Okay, we've got our seasoned seeds. Butternut squash seeds in our little pan, seasoned with salt, pepper, and some olive oil. And they're going to go into my little oven at 350. And I'm going to keep an eye on them because they actually pop like popcorn. And that's when you know that they're done. You got to run there and take them out. Okay, here we go. And once they're done, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get these lovely roasted seeds. And they're crunchy, they're a little salty, little pepper, and they're good. You can even put them on your soup when the soup's done. Now we're going to cook the soup. We'll go over to the stove. Okay, I have my pot on the stove on an open flame. I've melted some butter in my pot. Melt the butter slowly, and we're going to add some chopped shallots. And I'm going to this, I don't know if it's called a kitchen hack or a cooking hack, but I found that whenever I need to chop onions, if you can, I place my board close to where my hood is. I turn the hood on while I'm chopping the onions, and you won't get teary-eyed. So I've chopped most of my shallots. I just have about this little piece to finish chopping, which I'll do now. And the butter, it's about 3 tablespoons of butter. And the shallots, you need about half a cup of chopped shallots. Shallots, whichever way you want to call it. And I think I'm done. And don't worry if there are bigger sizes, or because it's all going to be blended afterwards, so it'll all be good. All right, I think I'm good. I'm going to put this into my pot. Very nice. The pot's nice and hot. You can hear them sizzling. And you're going to cook these for about, I don't know, 1 or 2 minutes until they become sort of golden, but not burnt. Okay. It's actually nice because I'm sort of deglazing the pan here, because with the melted butter, I'm scraping up little bits of browned butter. It's not burnt, it's just a little bit brown, but that's good. It's all good. And I find that I've made the butternut squash soup. I used onion instead of shallots because I didn't have shallots, and it did give it a different taste. I do prefer the shallots. And also, when you're baking or roasting your butternut squash soup, try not to over roast it. It doesn't burn because it's covered with aluminum foil, but caramelization starts to occur, and so some of the pulp will be dark brown in color, and that changes the whole soup look. Instead of your soup looking like this color, it's more of a brownish color, and the taste is sweeter. I learned that from the last time I made it. I over roasted my butternut squash. Okay. It's such an easy soup to make, and it's so healthy and just delicious. I usually make it for Thanksgiving, but I find myself making it at any time because it's so good. Okay, I think my shallots are looking pretty good. In goes my butternut squash. Whoa, there we go. And just break it down a bit with your spoon. Look at that color. I just love it. And I'm going to mix it a bit so that the butter and the shallots are incorporated into the pulp. Just smells lovely. Look at that. Okay. I think we can add the chicken stock. You can use vegetable stock. I prefer chicken stock. And I usually have some on hand in the freezer that I've made, but this time I've just bought some. And you're going to need about 6 to 7 cups. I have 6 here. If I need more, I have more. There we go. And just give it a quick stir. Scrape down the sides because you want all the bits and pieces into your soup. And that's it. You're going to let this come to a boil. So I'm going to raise the heat. And we're going to cover it like that. Once it gets to a boil, lower the heat so it's a simmer, and it's just going to sit here simmering for about 30 to 35 minutes. And then you're going to get your immersion blender and just blend it. If you don't have an immersion blender, hopefully you have a blender, and you can put it into your blender and you could blend your soup that way too. So we're going to let this sit, and we'll get back to it, and we'll add toppings to our soup later. Okay, 30 minutes are up, and let's take a look. Looks great. Get my wooden spoon here. Looks good. I think it's time for me to use my immersion blender. And yeah, we'll get our soup going. Okay. Turn off the flame. So this is what I like about the immersion blender. You can use it right in the pot, and it just saves a bit of a mess and an extra step. Okay, here we go. Looking good. And it won't take long because that butternut squash pulp is already, some of it already disintegrated with the heat. You have to remember it was roasted first and then it was on simmer. And I think I got it all. Let's take a look. Found a couple of pieces. I'll lift up my pot a little bit. Okay, we're done. Put this aside and we'll get our bowl. And here we go. Just look at that color. And white plates are great just to show off your food. There we go. Nice steaming bowl of butternut squash soup. This is what we're making today. It's going to be delicious. And we're going to add some toppings to it. Here I have some roasted sliced almonds. I kind of like that. Okay. And I like some chives. And remember those seeds that we roasted from inside the butternut squash? I'm going to add a little bit of those as well. And maybe some Parmigiano. The cheese is actually melting as it's going into the soup. Grab a spoon. And here we go. Roasted butternut squash soup. Give it a stir. Be careful, don't burn your tongue. Exactly what I expected it to be. Smooth, creamy, velvety. The flavors with the chives, the roasted nuts, and the cheese. It's such a great soup to make. Enjoy.